It's very strange thing. I just recorded my speech today, but it wasn't recorded. Instead of a few weeks the past, I found out. So I don't know why, but I like to talk about again. I talked about two things very, very important for me when it comes to the English conversation. The first thing is the Lori. Lori is the sister of my pen pal. When I was in Los Angeles, she was 10 years old, fourth grader. And one time, when I tried to explain something to the host family, including her, I was trying to remember the word abacus, soroban, but I couldn't remember. And I tried and tried and tried, and for this time, I was making them wait, what I was going to say. Then finally, this Lori of 10 years old asked me, "Is it something like magic or something?" And then I said, "Oh, no, 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 no. It's a kind of calculating tool, with which you can calculate very easily." Then grandmother said to me, "No, you can explain it like that from the beginning." And all of the family was irritated because I kept silence for a long time, and they were waiting what I was trying to explain. And I said, instead of abacus, I said it's a kind of calculating tool. Then they said, you can explain it that way from the beginning. And that was a very, very big event for me, because every time when I kept silence, I'm trying to explain exactly or exact word, no matter how big word it is, how difficult it is. What comes to my mind is a big word in Japanese, and I try to translate into English, and then kept them waiting for me. And they didn't like, waiting for me starting or speaking again. So they said, just, you can explain that way from the beginning. And this is a big event. Another thing is, when I was 45 years old, I was ordered to station in Jakarta, Indonesia, from company. And at that time, I was still struggling with English conversation. I am not satisfied with my English ability, and I have to go to Indonesia and have to learn Indonesian language. I'm already 45 years old. The new language, it's impossible. That's what I thought when I heard, or when I ordered to station in Jakarta. But after 3 years stationing in Jakarta, miracle happened. without, or before I knew, I started talking to the staff or bankers or trading people, who can understand both English and Indonesian language. But still, I was talking to them in Indonesian language instead of English. And to me, the Indonesian language was easier for me, or I was more relaxed when I speak in Indonesian language. And that was very, very strange. And it was almost a miracle for me. And at that time, using the small textbook supplied by Japanese embassy, which contains only 300 Indonesian language words. So after all, using those 300 words, and as a matter of fact, I, translate some of the key phrases I always use in English conversation or in Japanese conversation or in my thinking pattern, translated into Indonesian language. That's another reason, but still, in Indonesian language, I was more relaxed and easily communicate with the people instead of English conversation. And I've been thinking about why, after I came back to Japan, all the way, why is it? Why such a miracle happened to me? And I still, trying to find out. But I am picking up one by one, and I, collected them in my homepage called Wajung Eikaiwa. And still, I am picking up using this YouTube, speaking openly or speaking in public. This is a kind of pressure it gives me. But still, this is a very good training. No matter how theoretically I added one by one, but still, actual conversation, I was already, how many years? More than, after 55 and almost 75, 20 years. I haven't used English conversation almost 20 years, or accurately, when I went to Indonesian Jakarta, the first 1 or 2 years, maybe I used English, but after that, after I was 47 or 50 at least, and after I came back to Japan, I was in charge of the Indonesian enterprise, so I didn't have to use English conversation. So altogether, maybe 50, 70, 20 years or over 20 years, I haven't used the English conversation, no matter how theoretically I add one by one. Anyway, that's the second point. So the first point is Rory. Rory is number one, which gives me the biggest hint. And number two is Indonesian language. That's all.